Did you know that daddy has a vagina?
Vagina?
Yes.
Oh. It has vagina?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Good talk.
Welcome back to another LGBT damage control video by none other than your favorite non-leftist lesbian, me. I just want to flip the switch on this for a second and say that if this was a biological male who said this to his son or daughter, doesn't matter. Hey kids, did you know that daddy has a dick? I'm just saying, it's a little bit creepy and unnecessary. Kids don't think this way about other people. They might think this way about themselves and be like, daddy, what is this between my legs? But like, why talk about your genitals to your own kid? It's just weird.
Hey, Journey. Did you know that daddy's trans? Did you know that daddy's trans? Do you care?
Yeah.
You do? How much?
Yeah.
A lot?
What?
Did you know that daddy has a vagina?
Vagina?
Yes.
Oh. It has vagina?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Good talk.
I obviously know what this trans guy was trying to do. He was trying to prove that my kid doesn't give a shit if I'm trans or not. He just cares that I'm here for him and that I love him, and why is everyone making it a big deal that I'm a trans guy with a kid? My issue is this literally comes across again as creepy. It's probably the first time this kid has ever even heard of the word vagina, has no idea what it means. I saw this on Twitter and I feel like it fit perfectly with the situation, so I wanted to share it with you. My friend Casually Greg said, "Stop destroying the innocence of children in order to protect your own pathologies onto them." Perfectly said, Greg. Since we're already on the topic of vaginas, this video pissed me off.
People are really out here saying that trans Chuchi is the inferior product. I'm sorry. We have the designer, expensive, bougie coochie. Like, you're telling me if someone says, would you like this free paper bag that came with my groceries, or would you like this $35,000 bag? You're taking the designer Birkin, babe. Like, seriously.
Obviously, I'm a lesbian. I've seen a number of biological women's vaginas, and I've also seen exactly 3 trans vaginas, neo-vaginas, and I can honestly say none of them look the same. They all look different. None of them look better or worse than others. Also, saying shit like this won't get you laid.
You're just mad because trans girls don't want to put trash like you in our designer bags.
Trash like you meaning biological men who won't sleep with trans women. Everybody knows the easiest way to trick yourself into feeling better about yourself is to put other people down, or in this case, all biological women. I promise you, sis, it is not the way. So stop. Here's what my friend Stephanie had to say from a therapist's perspective about this.
There's no like personal responsibility to evaluate what's in your heart and notice that we have, and this is where religions are helpful, you know, like that, to recognize sin, whatever your framework for that might be, but to recognize that you have toxic levels of envy and vengeance within your heart, like,
Crazy.
There's just like a lack of a framework for going, oh my God, there's something wrong with me for wanting to subjugate others to this power dynamic. And it's kind of sociopathic, but
yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of personality disorder behavior going on with stuff like this. But again, I want to come back to the sadness of the reality that as much as this person is being names I don't want to say, being terrible with this TikTok, at the same time, I'm thinking about how when you make a decision like these irrevocable medical decisions that trans people are making, in order to do that, you have to split off doubt in your psyche, because it's normal to have doubt. It's healthy. That's what makes us normal neurotics instead of psychotics, right? When you're in psychosis, you're disconnected from reality. But if you're a normal person, you have some level of inner ambivalence where a part of you wants this and a part of you wants that. And if you're a normal person, you come to a therapist like me and I say, yeah, sounds like this part of you feels this way, this part of you feels that way. And these 2 parts of you, they duke it out, and hopefully you become a more integrated person and make a decision that you feel good about moving forward, right? But with the trans stuff, what I see is a lot of kind of pathological level of splitting off of doubt and doubling down on defense mechanisms. And part of how they do that is projection, right? Yep. So you'll see this with the power struggles that kids get into with their parents, where it's like the kid is holding all of the end of the polarity of wanting to trans, and then they get to play out this power struggle with their parent who's holding all the doubt, rather than the kid actually owning, and usually they're not mature enough to do this, but owning the fact that there's a part of them that can and should be scared because this is a really big decision. So I'm thinking we have all these creative ways that our mind gets to work, splitting off doubt. And when you've done something like what this young man unfortunately seems to have done to himself, assuming that he's not making this up and that he's actually had a vaginoplasty, I mean, that is a permanent decision. And we've all heard at this point from kind of detransitioners and lost in transitioners and people all over the map who are living with the regret. And I just imagine that going over the top and dyeing his hair and eyebrows pink and putting on all this makeup and this glittery background with a trans flag and this dress and these flowers and making this TikTok.
To me, it just screams attention.
Seeking attention to validate this choice and say, I'm better than you. All of you women who I'm trying to imitate, I'm better than you. You're nothing.
That's literally what someone said in the chat. Yeah. If you want to see the entire Rumble live stream where we also talk about the fact that Facebook and Instagram now allow non-binary and trans women to show their breasts and nipples, click the link in the description below. The next video has come up on my feed an awful lot recently, and generally I just roll my eyes at this person, but the reason I wanted to bring it up this time is because the comments had me dying.
Paraboy versus Demi Boy. Hey. People who identify as paragender feel as though their gender is made up of a dominant gender and a minor gender or genders. And people who identify as paraboy feel as though their dominant gender is male, while their minor gender could be any gender and genders.
Somebody said, I am telling you, this gender chaos theory is just a mega unhealthy cope with being fat. And someone responded to that and said, yeah man, it's unremarkable syndrome or syndrome, anything to feel special. And somebody else said, this is my favorite one, they said, they are always like this. Chubby white girls doing autism faces. And if you read that comment and like don't have any context, you wouldn't understand it, but since you have context, you understand it. It's hilarious. Obviously, I'm not a fan of making fun of people's appearances, but there is something to be said about the general consistency of these types of people. Why are they always societally, generally unattractive? Why are they always overweight? Why are they always coloring their hair? Why are they mostly always white, suburban, upper middle class? And then there's this person.
28-year-old Bridget Klein-Simpson has identified as a woman for years, and she wants to get into better shape, so she went to the Bodyworks gym for women in Parksville for a membership. Klein-Simpson says she was initially welcomed, but after one workout she was informed she was not allowed at the women's only gym.
Saying, sorry, we made a mistake, you're not actually allowed to be here, but you're more than welcome to use the co-ed facility. And I kind of just hung up because I was devastated. I mean, there's really no other word for it.
We have seen a ton of videos like this online where trans women who don't pass are trying to get into women's spaces. They're not allowed or they're shamed and they get pissed off about it. And at this point, I've commented on this for quite a while. At this point, I have to say, if you are truly a woman and want to integrate into society as such, stop acting like a man. My friend Buck Angel, who's a trans guy, said, that person has never stepped in a gym until they wanted to take over women's spaces. Think about it. Women generally are much more aware of how their presence might affect others around them.
It was just important to me to like be in a place that would be like explicitly accepting, like, you know, you are a woman, you can, you know, you're allowed to be here.
I'm just saying, tell me what gender you think this person was raised as. I'll wait. Also, this person wasn't even told to use the men's gym. They suggested that this person use the co-ed gym, which would make everybody more comfortable. Listen to what the gym owner had to say here.
Do we pick the comfort of the transgender person and they may not be as comfortable with the co-ed gym, but at least that's an alternative? Or do we pick the comfort of the young girls that are working out there? They may not feel comfortable. I don't know if is that fair to them, and what would parents think? What would you think if this is your daughter there?
And this is the truth, right? Do business owners pick the feelings of trans people, or do they pick the comfort and safety of women and young children? And the truth is, and trans women like this person don't want to hear this, the majority of society and businesses, because they're afraid of being canceled or whatever, are siding with the feelings of trans people who don't pass. And guess what? Ironically, that is not the general experience of what being a woman is. So in a very unique way, you are still experiencing what it is to be male. If you really want to be seen as a woman, don't feel entitled to space. Don't not take responsibility when you are making somebody else around you feel uncomfortable. But of course, that's not what happens here.
I mean, all it takes is education. I mean, you know, like once you understand, you know, like trans women are women, trans men are men, non-binary people are who they say they are, and I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, and if you're still if you still feel uncomfortable after that, I mean that's on you.
And I can't believe the fact that they said, if you can't believe what I tell you, that's on you. Basically saying, don't believe your own eyes, and if you do, that's your fault, not my problem. I also just wanted to comment on this for a second, but not even the butchiest butches of lesbians sit like this. The reason I keep commenting and calling out these types of people is because they make friends of mine who are actual trans women who integrate into society as such. My friends like Sarah, Blair White, Jonna, making them look bad. Of course, a ton of biological men got behind these so-called trans women and had something to say, and I found an article that summed all of this up perfectly, and I wanted to share that with you real quick. What gives men the right to use gender activism as a cover for misogyny? Incels rage online about women who selfishly refuse to have sex with them. Gender activists rage at women who won't just bloody well shut up about their concerns about safety and say what the men tell them to say. Gender activism has become the permissible face of misogyny for certain kind of allegedly progressive man. It gives them latitude to call women derogatory names and make spittled-flecked, whatever that means, videos insisting that any woman or anyone who has a problem with male-born people in women-only spaces is on the wrong side of history. And of course, Queen J.K. Rowling commented on this and said, weird, isn't it? But I struggle to remember any other progressive movement that attracted so many men who love fantasizing about the brutal depths of women. And that was also in response to this person, Adam, on Twitter, saying, could I get away with selling this? And it is indeed a t-shirt saying, if you're a TERF, just go ahead and kill yourself. I mean, yeah. So, happy Sunday. That's what I had to say this week. Obviously, go and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss next week's video. It is an amazing video, I promise. Other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves. Bye.